I mean, the world has changed a lot since Trump was in office. Trump makes the case, this is his argument, that the world is a more dangerous place. He basically says that Biden allowed the war in Ukraine, allowed Russia to attack Ukraine. He blames Biden for the Hamas attack in Israel. And not only that, Afghanistan, the chaotic exit of Afghanistan that led to the deaths of 13 U.S. service members, as well as roughly 170 Afghan civilians.
A lot to follow up on there, but first, wasn't Biden executing Trump's plan in Afghanistan?
That is true. I mean, this was the plan that Trump put in motion, but Trump likes to say that he would have done it differently.
I do think it's worth keeping in mind that when you look at President Biden's approval rating, the moment when it first began to dip underwater was in August of 2021. It coincides with the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. And I think that's worth keeping in mind because Biden really came into office as the adult in the room, the man who could provide stability both here at home, globally, after some of the more chaotic moments under the Trump presidency.
When you look at Biden's presidency overall, can he still make the case that he's the adult in the room?
Well, look, he has certainly helped defend Europe, defend Ukraine without committing any U.S. troops on the ground. And although Trump may make the argument that the world is a more dangerous place under Joe Biden, as Trump portrays, that is not the reality that a number of world leaders see. They see the United States as being a more stable partner. Biden has certainly tried to rebuild alliances that were broken, particularly in Europe under Trump. He has also tried to, strengthen NATO. And NATO is a bigger, more powerful force than it was since Joe Biden took office.
There's no question that Europe sees the United States as being more dependable. That said, what Trump is saying about too much war is resonating with a lot of the American public, and that has been an effective message for him.
Franco, you said a moment ago that Trump said the Ukraine war would never have happened if he was in office, that the Hamas attack wouldn't have happened. Not provable statements, I guess. Has he detailed anything he would do differently?
No, he has not done that. He has indicated in some interviews he has a plan to resolve those issues and that he could do it very quickly, 24 hours, in fact, when it comes to Ukraine. That said, he says he cannot reveal what those plans are because that would reveal his hand and he wouldn't be able to negotiate once he's in power.
Okay, well, let's get...
He's bluffing. He don't have any plan at all. He's a kid, like they said, the child in the room.
And one of them is that they are trying to directly attribute the fall of Roe versus Wade, this landmark Supreme Court decision, to Donald Trump. They say that he handpicked 3 Supreme Court justices that helped overturn that decision. The other argument that they make is that things could potentially get worse around reproductive rights if Trump were to win a second term of office. They point to things like IVF and contraception being vulnerabilities. And one argument you hear Democrats make, in fact, I was out covering Kamala Harris, the vice president, at a campaign rally in Maryland this week. She said explicitly that Donald Trump, if he gets the chance, would sign a national ban on abortion that could outlaw abortion in every single state in the country.
Franco, is that the case?
I mean, he says it is not the case. He insists that he wants to keep this issue within the states. But look, Steve, this is an issue that Trump does not really want to talk about. I mean, this is an issue that's been very difficult for him and very difficult for Republicans. He knows politically that extremely well. He's been talking to his allies in the party and saying, look, they need to adjust. They need to win, is what he says.
And the counter to that is that President Biden and Democrats broadly see abortion as being one of their great electoral political strengths. The question here is whether Biden on the debate stage can connect himself directly to that issue. So does it mean that voters who support abortion will also come out and support the Democratic candidate for president?
Okay, so we've gotten briefings on several issues now as we prepare for this debate. Let's sum up. What is the opportunity that each candidate sees in this historically early meeting?
Well, sources within the Biden campaign, folks involved in Biden's debate planning, tell me that they believe this is about presenting a contrasting vision, whether it's on the economy, abortion, democracy, a whole host of issues. They fundamentally don't think voters are tuned in to the binary choice, that this November will be a rematch between Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
I would echo many of those same points from the Trump side as well. I mean, they also are seeking a contrast between Trump's first 4 years in office versus Biden's current 4 years was in office. In addition to that, a big strategy that Trump has had all along is to frame this debate or frame this contest between strength and weakness. Look, Trump knows the power of TV. He's looking towards that on-stage clash. I think there are a lot of people who are going to be watching, for example, those first few moments when Trump and Biden are introduced and walking towards each other, no one talking, and whether or not they shake hands. I think that is going to be a powerful moment.
One other point I want to mention is that it seems like both the Biden campaign and the Trump campaign believe that what they need to do on debate night is just fundamentally let the other candidate talk. And that if voters hear Trump or Biden, they will potentially eventually see the quote light and come to their side.
NPR's Esma Khalid and Franco Ordonez, it's a pleasure seeing you. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Good
Steve.
to talk to you.
Boy, oh boy. You heard it here first, folks. Fivefold bringing it to you live. The differences between Trump and why, man? But seriously, I'd rather vote for why man than the Chumper. Because voting for Trump is going to destroy America. If you thought you didn't have any rights before, and remember, as a straw man, you don't have any rights. You only have privileges. Y'all better go to my Facebook page and check out the post on straw man so you can see that this thing is real. Okay? We done heard these stories for decades about this stuff going on. Never knew it was real. Now we know it is. They've released the book, allowed us to get access to it, explaining everything about it. It's a rigged system, totally rigged. A citizen has no rights, only privileges. A national, however, has rights. You weren't born into the United States. You was born in the state that you were born in. So ultimately, you're a part of that place. But America has you set up like a corporation. Yeah, you better do your research. Do your research, people. Find out what's going on. This government, they really got it in for us. They've been using and abusing us for all these years. And then they want to raise our taxes, overtax us, and the rich people hardly pay their taxes at all. They're paying 0.006%. That's 0.006%. Then you got to take and go add two more zeros when you do the calculation. Whereas we're paying 10% or more on average on our income. 10.0. And they're paying 0.006%. Come on, man. You know that's crazy. That's ridiculous. And they call us un-American? What's more un-American than not paying your taxes? Huh? They can't say nothing. They don't even deserve the right to speak in public. All rich people need to sit down and be quiet until you start paying your taxes. Then you can speak in public. How about that? I've had enough, America. I don't know about you, but I've had enough of this doggone bias system. I demand we get equal representation, or else they can forget about this taxation. Speaking of which, a national don't pay taxes either. Yeah, but citizens do. How about that? Wake up, 99%.